Hi everyone, this is Michelle Gregor from San Jose City College, Spring 2020, Sculpture 40 and 42. Today we're going to be talking about the primary forms of the human head. In preparation for when we return to the studio, we'll be sculpting a life-size sculpture of the human head. So, what do I mean about primary forms? What I mean is paying attention to the front of the head as well as the top of the head, the side of the head, and the back of the head. On canvas, I put some really good resources, including this skull. The top of the head is a beautiful shape. You can see in the front it's a bit narrower. It flares out at the back of the head. Here's the back view here, and notice the differences in shape where it's narrower and where it's wider, as well as the side of the head. This is a great resource for you to see the different shapes that make up the primary mass. The secondary features are the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the lips, the ears. We're not going to be talking about those today. It's no use putting those on until you have your primary forms set up in the correct place where they are. Otherwise your head's just going to look strange. You may come up with a funny sort of looking head like this, where the person has neglected to pay attention to the form, the side view, the back of the head. You can see on this drawing the back of the head is missing. What you're looking for is something more realistic, like this one here. I want to look at some beautiful examples from history. We've been sculpting heads since the beginning of human time. And there's gorgeous examples from all over the world. The first one I'm going to show you is this beautiful Olmec head. This is a colossal head. It's from 1000 BCE from south central Mexico. You can see that some of the features are rather stylized. This mouth is rather square, but most of the proportions are pretty accurate. The second head I'm showing you here is a Gandhara Buddhist head. These are beautiful sculptures with quite accurate layout of features, a bit stylized still with the elongated ears, beautiful proportions. This one is from Afghanistan, from the 3rd century. The next head that I want to show you is a Roman copy of the great Greek sculptor Praxiteles. It's got a wonderful profile to refer to. We're going to be talking about profiles later. And finally, I want to show you a Yoruba head from Africa, which is absolutely beautiful. This one is cast in bronze, and it's got very naturalistic features. This Yoruba head is from the 14th century, and it's got some wonderful surface markings on it. There is no end of inspiration that you can find in history. There's links on Canvas to lots and lots of images to be inspired by, and I hope you go there and take a look at them. So here I have a blank piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how to make a grid so that we can lay out the proportions of the human head. The first thing I'm going to do is to make this 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper into a square. I'm going to fold it on the diagonal, and I'm going to get rid of this extra part here. And that's going to give me a nice square. Okay, the next step, I'm going to fold this square in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half again. I'm going to give you my vertical lines. I'm going to do the same thing for my diagonal lines. I'll fold it in half the other way, and then fold it in half again. It's going to give me a nice grid. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares up. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares to the side. Now, if you notice on our illustration, we actually have 3.5 squares. So we have to get rid of half of the square from the top, and on the side we also have 3.5 squares. So we're going to get rid of half a square at the back. So choose one side, and I'm going to take that row and fold it in half. one of the squares on the top or the bottom. Choose the top, you can choose whichever you like. And then I'll cut that off. This is going to get me all prepared so that I have a nice graph that's set up so I can lay the profile and the features into place. What I'd like So now that we've made 4 of these grids, how are you supposed to use them? You're going to use these blocks as coordinates of where to place your features. I would refer to this image that will be available to you on Canvas. If you can print it out, print it out. If you can't, you can just look at it online. It's pretty easy to read. You can see that it's laid out in very simple grids, exactly like your paper. I want you to pay particular attention to where the features lie. For example, the mouth is in the first box here. The nose starts right where the second part of the grid begins. These are coordinates that are going to help you lay out your features. You can see that the back of the head goes all the way back through this first, second, third and a half. We're going to use this whole area so we get the full space of the skull. The ear is way back here in the third section, so use this as coordinates. I'm going to ask you to take your grids and to make 3 different profiles. I've done 3 here. You can see them. They're all relatively accurate and will give you a good sense of what I'm looking for. Once you've done your 3 profiles, I'd also like you to do 1 full face so you can see where the features will fall on the head once we have it mocked up in clay. So to recap, your assignment is to create 4 grids. On 3 of those grids, I'd like you to play around with different profiles, draw them in using the coordinates that we talked about. And on the 4th grid, I'd like you to do a frontal view of the face. When you've got all these things done, what I'd like you to do is snap a photo of them and email them to me by March 29th, which is next Sunday. I really look forward to seeing what you come up with and enjoy the process.